We're now going to use some points which are particularly helpful for digestive problems. To start with, I'll show you the points for indigestion or nausea. Make sure that your receiver is lying comfortably on the mat. The first point we'll do is located on the inside of the forearm. This point is called pericardium 6 and is located 2 thumb widths up from the crease on the wrist. The easy way to find that is just taking 3 fingers across the wrist, and the point is just there. You'll feel it in between the tendons on the forearm. Now this point we're just going to calm. This helps relieve nausea, seasickness, and reduces the anxiety that discomfort can bring about. So just hold this point, be sensitive to it. Applying gentle but firm pressure. As always, with the points off the central line of the body, we repeat this now to the other side. Normally, I wouldn't work across the body, but just to indicate where the point is, remember from the crease of the wrist, 2 thumb widths up, or you can take the 3-finger measurement and it's just in between the tendons. And again, just calm, holding the point. You might want to do this for up to 2 minutes. Make sure the pressure isn't too strong and that your receiver is comfortable. The next point, which is really helpful for indigestion, is a point called REN 12. This is located halfway between the belly button and the end of the sternum, which is the chest bone. So just follow up the rib cage, come to the end of the breastbone, find the belly button, the navel, and the midpoint in between there is REN 12. Now this point has to be dispersed. So you can use a finger to vigorously do that. If that feels a little uncomfortable for your receiver, you may want to use the palming technique, which we've used before, just to gently disperse. It's less acute working on the point in this way. Same as when we've worked any points in the back, we tend to use the palm so there's no direct pressure on the spine. This is also very good for working on the abdomen, especially if it's a little sore. So having dispersed that point, we'll move on to the next one, which is stomach 25. Now stomach 25 is located to either side of the navel. This is 2 thumb widths out from the navel on each side of that midline. Now again, we're going to disperse these points. You can work them at the same time, or if they're a little sore, you can just use that palming technique to one side at a time. The final point we're going to work for indigestion and nausea is liver 13. Now this point is actually located at the end of the 11th rib. This is in line with the hip bone. So trace the bone up from the pelvis to the top of the hip and then feel around the rib cage. Line it up with the side of the hip. Again, it can be quite sensitive, and we're going to disperse this point because we have stagnant chi, energy there. Make sure your receiver's comfortable with that. And you can use your fingertips around that point, or again the palm. An actual single point, pressure point, is a little bit acute generally on this one. So just disperse that nice and vigorously. And then repeat to the other side. Again, lining up the hip, following round the rib cage to the end of the 11th rib, and disperse. If your receiver is finding that they've been suffering from constipation, there are a couple of very simple techniques which you can use to just help ease the whole digestive system. The first one of these is called wave rocking. So, just being aware of where the navel is, you're going to come just below the navel, fitting the heel of your hand, just rolling over the hip bone, palm across the center of the abdomen, and your other hand on top. And all you're going to do is a wave rocking type of motion, so pushing across and then pulling back towards you with your fingers. So pushing across with the heel of your hand and back with your fingers. Just imagine the waves of the sea and gently massage the abdomen. Start with a gentle pressure, and you can build the pressure up over a few minutes for this particular movement. As long as your receiver is comfortable, I'd recommend you could do up to about 3 minutes with the wave rocking. The other 2 points which are particularly helpful for constipation include one on the forearm called Sanjiao 6. This is located 3 sun or 3 thumb widths above the wrist crease, but on the front aspect of the forearm this time. So 3 thumb widths, which equals 4 finger widths. And again, just feel your way up from the wrist, between the tendons and into Sanjiao 6. And we're just going to gently work that point. Feel our way, gentle dispersal here. And then work to the other side as well. So for the location, it will be from the wrist up the front of the forearm, 4 fingers or 3 thumb widths, and into Sanjiao 6. Final point that we would use is stomach 36, which is located on the lower leg, just below the knee. So from the bottom of the kneecap, 4 fingers or 3 thumb widths, and you're rolling just to the outside, the edge of the shin bone. So you can come up the shin bone as you feel it flaring out. Just come out slightly and drop into that point. Now this point we're going to tonify. Stomach 36 tonifies the whole energy of the body, the blood, the qi, and the digestion. Try and focus your thoughts, focus your mind, think of tonifying, boosting, sending your qi into this point. And when you've done that side, again come round to the other side and work stomach 36 on the opposite leg.